Hi there, welcome. My name is Tessy Ojo, and I am the Chief Executive of the Diana Award, a charity legacy to Princess Diana. At the Diana Award, we focus our entire work on driving change for young people and helping young people really connect with their dreams and their aspirations and just helping you live the best life. I'm really privileged to be part of your summit this year. Such a shame that we can't be together. I really enjoyed being with you last year, but I suppose we have to make do with what we have. Although we're not physically together, I expect a lot of interactions with you online. So do drop me a comment or some feedback on how you felt about the session and any questions that you might have as well. I would really love to hear from you after this conference. So, like I said, I was really pleased to be with you last year. I thoroughly enjoyed the sessions. What I actually loved most about the conference last year was, firstly, obviously, hearing from the amazing speakers that you all had. But most importantly, it was the personal connections. It was chatting to you, hearing some of your stories, some of your aspirations, and your journey, where you were coming from and where you were going, and just having those conversations I felt was so enriching for me. And really, I really love hearing from you guys. Young people, you completely enrich our lives, and that for me, that was part of the highlights of the conference, and that's exactly one of the things that I will be missing from this conference. Hence, I really want you to drop me a comment or feedback after the session. So, like I said, the chief exec of the Diana Award. We are a charity, we support young people, but also much more than that, I'm a mom of two young adults. My children are aged 22 and 20, and like you guys, they are, you know, they're also affected by COVID. My daughter, who's 22, has just done her final exams from university, and that happened last week online. So very much affected by COVID, like a lot of you are. I want to spend the next few minutes really talking about something that I hope will be quite useful for you right now, given the current situation that we all find ourselves in. I mean, the lockdown, the COVID-19 situation, and the lockdown, the closure of schools, and just everything else that comes with this season. You know, it's one that's unprecedented, one that we've never seen, one that we've never experienced as a country or even as a world. And so we're all navigating this new season together, which is very challenging. And whilst even the adults are sorting stuff out, even though there's lots of different opinions, I can only imagine for you guys as young people how frustrating and how anxious this season could be. That's why I wanted to focus my talk on finding your invictus, finding your strength, even when your life has been interrupted. One of the things we did at the Diana Award very early on after lockdown happened, it was sometime in March. We sent out a poll to young people, and we heard back from over 1,500 young people who told us how they were feeling. One of the questions we asked was to what are the 5 top things you were most concerned about. I don't know, some of you might have even filled in this survey as well. But overwhelmingly, what young people like you told us was that mental health was their number one concern. And the lack of sleep, the anxiety, the uncertainty that we're all facing was something that was hugely affecting you guys as young people as well. Now, like I said, I completely understand. Like, we all as adults are also facing the same thing. I have 2 children in my own household, like I've told you about, who are facing the same thing like you, who have had to come back from university a lot earlier than planned, and with everything else that's going on. I want to, over the next few minutes, give you some tools that helps you navigate this season. And I would do that in two ways. Firstly, sharing some case studies with you. The case studies will be a few personal case studies of myself and my own journey, but also of the wider young people that we serve at the Diana Award. So that's one. The second thing I'll be doing is giving you some tools. These are tools that I have walked through myself, and I know that they're tools that help you, that would hopefully inspire courage, that would help you navigate this season and just help move you along onto the next season. That's the focus, that's the objective of this talk, and I hope that you are inspired by it. I hope that you learn from it. And like I said at the start, if you do have any questions, I would love to hear those questions. So you can find, I'm sure my details will be displayed, but if they're not, I'm sure that you will have details of how to find me on socials. Please do. I would really love to hear from you. So I wanted to kick off this talk, or the first case study, by just sharing a personal case study with you. And this really goes back to my own childhood, my own background. So I was lucky enough to be one of 7 children and an only girl. So I had 6 brothers, and I was literally bang in the middle. So I had 2 boys ahead of me and then 4 behind me. And we had such a wonderful life together, and everything was just perfect. I could not for any reason fault my childhood until I was 21. One day I was literally preparing to graduate from university, and I actually went home that weekend to spend some time with my family at home, away from university. And my younger brother, who's 2 below me, was just his normal self, was not unwell, everything was fine, went to bed one night and woke up the next day. My brother had died in his sleep. It's what we call now sudden death syndrome. He was coming up to his 17th birthday. Suddenly my perfect life was completely rocked. The life that I had loved, the family that I have loved, was just no longer the same. It's the suddenness, the interruption that's happened. There was no warning. It was simply as go to sleep, next day no more. That change was, I guess, similar to the kind of change where suddenly no one knew anything of a coronavirus, and suddenly there's this virus that's interrupted our lives. That's what happened. And for me, the repercussion was really that I got into a state where I began to fear sleep, where sleep was something that petrified me, that if you actually went to sleep, you just wouldn't wake up. Now, I know that's not true, but sometimes fear is so irrational, it consumes you, and you're in this bubble all by yourself, and it takes you really, other people may be coming in to help you to break out of this bubble. And it took a while. It took a while for me to actually realize that, I've been sleeping every day since Andrew died, and I have been waking up, and sleep wasn't a bad thing. Sleep was actually a good thing, and what happened was just happened, and there was nothing I could do to change it. And I owed it actually to my brother to live a decent life. It took a lot of perspective changing to see that life was a gift and that I had to live each day, almost helping my brother, who was younger than me, fulfill his own dreams. That event completely changed the course of my life, because that event kind of inspired my work in the charity sector today, and my passion for supporting young people achieve their dreams. Because sometimes I think about my brother, who never had the opportunity to achieve his own dreams by sadly passing away so early in life. And that's one event that really interrupted my whole life, but it's Sometimes you can't help things interrupting your life. What's key is how you respond to it. So, what's your response? Stuff happens. Stuff happens that are completely outside of your control. And what you can control is your reaction. How do you react? This talk is about giving you the tools to manage that reaction so that we achieve positive outcome, because that's what's important. What's important is not that your life has been interrupted. Yes, that's major. Is getting a positive outcome irrespective of that interruption is what's critical. My next case study is an incredible young girl called Show Me, and we will show you a video of Show Me just now.
In Bangladesh, over 45,000 people die from diarrhea every year. Shomi's mother was one of them. Shomi has since dedicated her life to ensuring access to clean water and sanitation for everyone, educating over 70,000 people. She shares her knowledge and experiences openly, embracing those from vulnerable communities in particular, such as sex workers, sewage workers, slum dwellers, underprivileged school children, and people living with disabilities. Her work has had an impact at both a local and global level, influencing policymakers to increase investment in sanitation and hygiene.
See, Show Me sadly lost her mom to diarrhea, and it was something like a little bit like my story that was so sudden. No one ever thought that just having diarrhea could lead to the death of her mother, but it happened. And what I love about Show Me is, despite that tragedy, despite the adversity, she found a purpose. She realized that, look, my family is quite educated. We are privileged to live in a place where we have water, we have good sanitation. She also realized that there were people who were unfortunate to live in a place where they didn't have good sanitation, they didn't have good water, they didn't have good health outcomes, and therefore things like diarrhea would wipe them out. She made it her life's mission to educate, to look for people who, particularly in the country she lived in, where she knew that there were lots of sex workers who were exposed to bad hygienic situations, so bad hygiene all through, bad sanitation as well. And she has made it her life's mission to support those people. I just think that her story is incredible, and it's a real demonstration of how you can control, how you can take charge of your life and the outcome of your life when that life has been interrupted. My next case study is a young guy called Ahmed. Ahmed went to school like everybody else would do every day, but something happened. His entire life was rocked.
Ahmed Nawaz was 14 when he was seriously injured in the attack. His brother, Haris, was killed.
The morning was a normal morning of a school day, like any other morning, and I went to the school with my friends in the assembly, just joking around and talking to each other, when the terrorists entered the school and started firing and shooting the children. I saw my friends being killed right in front of my eyes, and my teacher when she was burnt alive right in front of me. And I was unable to help her because of my wounds, since I was shot as well in that attack. It's a horrible day, and I think in the hospital I had a lot of time to think about why did this attack happen. So I thought about it, and I thought this was the lack of proper education that had caused them to do this kind of incident, and the feeling of alienation and the feeling of loneliness and marginalization that led them to do this kind of thing. So I thought maybe I should start working on the ways that we could prevent these kind of things from happening in the future. And I spoke at more than 50 schools around the UK, and speaking to young people about the shocking realities of terrorism and the impacts that it has on families like mine. That was a really big part of my campaign, and over the past few years I've been working with the Home Office and the Mayor Office of London on tackling this issue of radicalisation.
I know from my job working on policing and crime for a long time is that it's really important that people hear from those that have got lived experience, and they hear from them about how it has affected them, but also how it has changed them to try to make the world a better place.
And I believe it has been a pretty much success in a sense that we have a lot less people being radicalized. And additionally, on the educational side of my campaign, I started an Ahmed Nawaz empowerment project. We provided scholarships initially to young people in Pakistan and tribal areas so they could get the higher education in the cities. And then we built a school in Lebanon on the Syrian border to provide education to about 300 Syrian refugees who study there for free now and are getting their education, which is something that I'm really proud of. The mental injuries that it has given us, it's the pain that we are still going through because of that incident. Just thinking about what happened, it is, I think, the main thing that has given me the power and the strength to do this campaign that I have been doing.
What really inspires me about Ahmed is the fact that, yes, despite what happened, he has chosen a positive outcome out of that situation. He's chosen the pathway to educate. He knew that people did this because they were not educated enough. They didn't have access to the right people, to mentors. And he's also dedicated his life to doing just that. I think that you will see from these three stories that one thing remains, that life happens. Stuff that's completely outside of yourself happens. But like I said at the start, what's key is your reaction. How do you respond to stuff when bad things happen? The next part of this talk will give you the tools, and I want to share with you 5 tools. Like I said at the start, these are tools that I have used in my own life as well, and tools that I hope you will find useful. Tool number 1, gratitude. I know that gratitude changes your perspective on things. Let me give you an example. When you take a camera, this is my camera here, and sometimes you take a camera and you want a selfie. What do? You guys know this, right? You take a selfie. The camera is focused on you. It's all about your features, everything about you. And sometimes, a lot of the time, we live life in selfie mode, where you look at myself. This has happened. Oh gosh. Oh me. Oh that. This is what you need to do. Let's switch that camera around into camera mode. So it's no longer in selfie mode. And when you put on the camera mode, what do you see? You see the things around you. Camera mode allows you to see the bigger picture. You see the green, the plants, the flowers that you perhaps did not even notice, was not in your view when you were in selfie mode. See, I always see gratitude as the ability to keep yourself in camera mode, to see the wider picture. Like when I was grieving about my brother and I was petrified of sleep and I had insomnia. What I wasn't seeing was that there was a new day. There were plants were growing. There was lovely scenery around me. What I was looking at was, I'm too scared to sleep. Gratitude is key. If we want to get through, maybe when your life has been interrupted, perhaps in this season, whilst you're rightly so, you have all the worries. Think gratitude. Think about things around you, that you had food to eat, maybe, that you're not in lockdown, but you're safe. That perhaps if you were going to school every day, you might have caught the virus, and you being at home means that you're safe. let's focus our mind on things that we should be grateful for. Number 2, it's finding the why. What am I doing? Where am I going? Why am I here? Finding your why. What is your why? Sometimes the why might be in a short-term why. I'll tell you one thing I've been doing. So since I've been in lockdown, I don't live in London but I work in London, so I'm always commuting. I never really have time to get to know my neighbors or get to do things locally. Since I've been in lockdown, a few friends and I got together, and we found out that there are elderly people in my neighborhood who are unable to go out and also do not have family visiting. And we decided that on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we would make lunches for them. We will make the lunch and go and give them the lunch, and even use the opportunity to chat to them. Now, that has become a massive why for me, that it's getting me to be a key worker for a short time, but also I'm serving a purpose. I'm helping people. And way beyond COVID, when I think about lockdown, I'm always going to remember this season as being a lunch lady, a lady who gave out lunch to elderly people in her community. And that, for me, I will treasure that forever, because I might never ever have the time to do that again when I'm busy, like being a chief exec of a charity. But on those 3 days, just for lunchtime, I'm just this lady's dinner lady or lunch lady. I just bring them lunch, and we have a natter, and then I go back. But that's fun. That's about finding your why. Find purpose even when your life is interrupted. Number 3, visualize a destination. So we've talked about short term, finding a why, finding a purpose even through this. Long term, what's the destination? What is it that you want to achieve? Is it that you're going to university? What do you need to do now? Have you begun to explore maybe a shopping list of what you might need? Have you perhaps even gone onto the university's website or Facebook page and find other people who are going to study the same course as you are going to? Or maybe your long-term goal is achieving great GCSEs in 2 years' time. Are you beginning to just use this time to maybe catch up on those areas that you were struggling with before now? You have time now. Are you going to be a master of your art, of your craft, even now as you have lockdown? Name your destination and begin to work towards it. Number 4, love yourself. This is really hard because we are our harshest critics. What I would say to you is, be the kind of friend to yourself that you would like to have. Be kind to yourself. Do not be so harsh on yourself. Do not be so critical on yourself. Allow yourself some leeway, all right? Like if you woke up one day and you felt really, really unwell and you couldn't study, allow yourself. Be kind to yourself. It's okay. We're in lockdown. It's fine. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Be kind. Number 5, and the final one, is find a swim partner. Find a swim buddy. Find someone that you can talk to. It's about building a support network for yourself. I always encourage people to find someone that you can talk to, someone that you can always chat to, someone that might say, do you know what, let's go out for a walk, or talk to me about that. Find a swim buddy, because I don't want you to sink, and nobody wants you to sink. But the only way to prevent yourself from sinking is don't swim alone. Find a swim buddy. And I'm going to end with this. Finding your invictus or your courage does not mean that you're not afraid. It's not the absence of fear, but it is in spite of fear. And when you do find your invictus or your inner warrior, you would grow you will certainly grow. And that strength is so important for your next destination. I hope that you have enjoyed this. I would love to end with a poem, and I really love this poem, and I hope that you understand this poem. It's written by a guy called William Henley, and it says, "It matters not how straight the gate is, or how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul." You know, what William Henley was saying here was, it doesn't matter what's happening outside of me. I am responsible for me. So you are responsible for you. It doesn't matter how much our lives have been interrupted by COVID-19. You are responsible for your soul. I hope you have enjoyed this, and I hope you've learned something. I'd love to hear from you. Do drop me an email or comment. You can find me on socials at Tessy Ojo on Instagram, on Facebook. So do drop me a comment. I would love to hear from you.